Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. We are coming to you live from Yavapai College, who is one of our sponsors, along with our title sponsor, Mercedes-Benz. We'd love to thank Mercedes-Benz for joining us this year, along with our other sponsors, Goldenstein Gallery, Tlaquepaque, and all the other hotels and restaurateurs and volunteers who year after year participate in our festival. And we're known as the Filmmakers Festival, which we absolutely love our filmmakers who bring films from around the world year after year. And joining me now are two filmmakers from this year's festival. Please introduce yourself and your film.
Hi, I'm Sean Cheshire.
I'm Gina LeVay. I'm the director of Blind AF.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the film.
Sure. So Blind AF follows this fabulous Wonder Woman, Sean Cheshire, who is totally blind, as she rides a single bike, not a tandem bike, but her own bike across America, 3,600 miles in 60 days. But also it tells a story of how she heals herself from trauma in her life, and how she moves forward and heals herself to kind of reclaim her authentic self. So it's essentially about resilience in motion, and how to take your life experiences to become who you are truly meant to be.
Right. I love how you said taking that and putting it into motion, that just from the whole entire film and the meaning behind it. So I love that. It's very poetic. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about your part in the film, because that's amazing.
I mean, I feel like I really just had to learn how to trust Gina to share my story. Mm-hmm. So she knew my story, and then we just took the present, which is the bike ride, the hikes, the stuff that I do now, and she integrated it into this journey of, I kind of feel like it's healing in motion.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. So we do have a trailer, so let's take a look at the trailer and then talk some more, because I want everybody to see this.
Great.
Be careful. I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Everything's okay. You are safe.
I'm so tired. I don't think I can do
I'm afraid
this.
my brain will give out.
I don't get to be miserable, so I just want to do it.
A U.S. Army veteran and former paramedic who lost her sight.
Are we almost done with this? 4,000 miles. How can I deal with this anyway? This too shall pass. You know what? I did that. I'm emotional. I don't know if I'll ever be at peace with being blind.
You can imagine if you had lived your whole life sighted, and now all of a sudden when you open your eyes, it's not any different than when your eyes are closed and you're asleep.
Nick forward. Let's go.
That's when I started doing all of my trauma PTSD work. I had no idea how my childhood affected my adult life. I really needed a focus. I feel like if I don't challenge myself, I become so overwhelmed and I just focus on everything I've lost. I don't like to feel stuck. I like to make sure that I always have choices. So I have to do something for myself.
She's an extremely confident woman.
She's a superhero, but she's real life.
Someone tell me I cannot get on a single bike and ride across the country as a blind person. I'll be the judge of that.
You're gonna do what?
Right now, in the studio, I have an amazing and inspiring story this morning. You've got to hear this.
What she's doing has never been attempted.
My hair.
Sean Cheshire started a 3,800-mile journey totally blind.
I've raced with Lance Armstrong, World Championships. Never seen anything remotely close to this.
This is beyond adventure.
Absolutely dangerous. The mental fatigue, trying to figure out where the sound is. Who's on the side.
I don't want to hear it.
Semi-traffic.
We had just 10 minutes to talk to Sean and her entourage.
Is breaking social barriers.
I'm just afraid to lose her again.
Just telling you, if something happens to me, you guys.
Another blow to the head. she would not survive.
But that's not stopping her.
Today's a good day to die.
Why? What is the point? I do things to help myself and people attack me.
Here. You are not blind.
I don't do things to help myself and then I don't want to live. Like, what's wrong with me? I knew it'd be hard, I just didn't know how hard it was gonna be. I needed this. I needed to learn this. That, out of everything, will change my life more than anything. And I had to make the choice. I have to choose to see. When you go through hardship, you come out on the other side.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where the pit is. You gotta claw your way out.
Blindness is not a disability in you. It's a difference.
I don't think I would be who I am today if I had not lost my vision. I don't know. Today's a good day.
In her mind, there is no quitting. You can cry. You can crawl.
I think you should hug me.
You can fall down. But there's no quitting. That's moving forward.
Life is messy. There are so many things out of my control. But I can control me. I can be my own Wonder Woman.
I am not okay living a life where I feel like I'm limited because I am blind.
Wow, I know this. I'm like crying watching this. It was too much for me.
I can't watch it without crying myself.
I know. So I mean, I'm blown away. I did watch the film last night because the part that you screamed, I was staying at a friend's house, and I'm watching the film, and all of a sudden, like, you let out this scream, and I'm like, oh my God, they're sleeping. I was like, but talk to me a bit about it if you feel comfortable to. You obviously, were you something happened where you became blind because you weren't blind as a child, correct?
Correct.
So can you talk about it? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I lost my I don't have a memory of the accident. I have been in the military, worked on attack helicopters. I've become a paramedic. And one day in the back of an ambulance with a combative patient, I don't remember what happened, but I got knocked off my feet, hit the back of my head, sustaining blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, and I essentially lost my vision from that injury.
So take me through that journey, because I mean, obviously on the film we saw like a lot of the trauma and then just your feelings about it and not wanting to live and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's like this cycle constantly, but talk to me about how you got to this point where you jumped on a bicycle to beat the odds. I mean,
well, I mean, I think that I think that one of the reasons why, even just listening to the trailer, I get emotional is because I live the struggle every day. And I also believe that coming from so much trauma in life, from childhood trauma, domestic violence, I have lived very small, very quiet, taking up the least amount of space possible, and feeling stuck in all aspects. So as I'm navigating blindness and in therapy, doing trauma work, I'm trying to figure out how to not do that anymore. And one of the ways to help me not feel stuck or limited by other people's ideations of what blind people should do, shouldn't do, should look like, shouldn't look like, is figuring out who I am in all that and the things I can do that help me feel more free and less stuck.
So you can't see anything.
I can't see anything.
Wow.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful. I know. I walked in here and you're like, "Here's a star." I go, "No. You're the star, really." No, I mean, you're beautiful. Your story is beautiful. I am just so blown away because I was just sharing that I can't even get on a bicycle because I probably would fall off. And you're riding across country like miles and miles, and you have an entourage and stuff like that. But still, there's just like in the film, there's like major trucks. I can't even drive in a car with trucks going down the road, and you're riding a bicycle. I mean, it's just amazing. People like yourself just go beyond. It's just so motivating and inspiring to see that, because something as simple as we get upset about something, and I know, listen, you go through trauma in your life, but at the same time, you're such an inspiration. I mean,
that's what I hear. I feel like every day I'm just trying to figure out how to not feel stuck.
Yeah. How did the two of you meet?
So we actually met in 2015. I was doing a job for ESPN about female veterans and how they use athletics in their post-deployment life. So I met her in 2015 to do an interview and a story on her, and she just recently lost her vision, and she was training to go to the Rio Games, the Olympic Games, Paralympic Games in Rio in 2016. And so at this point, when I met her, I was also a recent mom myself, and she was telling me a story of losing her vision when she was 36, and she had 2 young children. And I just couldn't imagine that as a single mother. So her story really stuck with me, and I didn't know a lot of the backstory at that point. And then 4 years later, in 2019, I was thinking about Sean, and I had time in my own life to kind of do independent projects again, and I was like, what is she up to? And so I called her in 2019, and I'm like, do you remember me? She's like, of course. And I was like, I would love to tell your story. And she's like, well, I'm so sorry, but I just quit Team USA. I'm not really racing anymore. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, why don't we just be in touch? And if you have other races you're doing or hikes, just let me know. I would love to just start a collaboration. And so she was into the idea. And then everything kind of snowballed. At the time, we didn't know the Ride Across America was going to happen. We didn't know that Everest was going to happen. There was a lot of stuff. So we just kind of really hit it off. And I think we had a great relationship, and just the trust between us kind of really made the film possible. And I'm always just so humbled by her bravery and vulnerability, throughout this whole process, and the trust. And so, we just kind of it was a snowball, step by step. We're like, she wanted to ride across America. I'm like, can we get sponsors? And then through our relationship, a lot of, more of her story came out. And that's how we're like, all right, how can we tell the complete story, it's not a complete, but just more of the journey, the external and also the internal journey that she deals with every day.
Right. And I know you're very humbled, because basically you're like, I don't understand this or that. You are an inspiration, but even in doing research, even in the trailer, everywhere you go, people are just blown away by what you're able to accomplish. Mm-hmm. So when you are actually, no matter what it is, when you're on that bike, or how do you know where you are? How do you know where to go? How do you feel through that? I know it's senses, right? It has to be something, but I don't even know.
Yeah, so on a bike, it's hearing mostly and feeling. There's this notion that when you lose one sense, the other senses become heightened, but you really have to work at it. And for me, because I'm so scared, the way that I help myself not be so scared is to be very hyper alert. And that's using feeling and smell and my hearing. And so I would follow the sound of the music, essentially. That was my blind line of sight. And then I would, we'd had 2-way radios in our helmets, so I was also getting other feedback, verbal feedback, from the different cyclists that were riding with me. And I was also feeling a lot of things. And that, I think that was one of the scary parts about the semi trucks, was that was such a massive, you could just feel the energy just kind of suck and then push, and it was just so intense. And then I'm feeling that, and I'm trying to listen to the music, which I can barely hear because it's so loud, and it's a lot. It's just so, but I have to be present every second I can't let my mind drift. I can't think of anything else. I have to be super present, hyper alert. So that's how I did it.
Don't you? I'm asking you this question. I know you probably don't even feel like this, but I feel like you're our greatest teacher in so many different ways. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, people go through life where they have tragedies and traumas, but to watch you and what you've accomplished and what you're doing, and even though there's some, you know, negativity or things that you're going through, you're able to push through that time and time again. And like, that's what we're looking at over here. So no matter what that is, you're still the greatest teacher. Like I am like so inspired by you. And
well, do you know what that lesson was for me? Was I get a choice every day with who and how I show up.
Yes.
Every day, that is my choice. And so I'm going to take advantage of that.
Thank you. Good for you. I applaud you for that, because seriously, right, it's all like we all have gifts that need to be shared, and sometimes people are oblivious to whatever that is. But yeah, I'm so admirable of you. I really am. I'm like, now I need to get back in the gym and work out. I mean, that's like my biggest challenge right now is to go work out.
Like I said, you're beautiful.
Well, ditto. But I know when we were walking through the doorway, you said something. You go, "Wow, it's like a narrow door," and I'm like, "How did you know that?" Like, I mean,
it's the feel.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
it's the
So
feel.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So your film. So first, before I get to the film, I want to ask you. I know this is a big accomplishment for you, and then also coming here to this film festival. But what are you doing next? Like, what's your next? Is there something else that you're doing?
I just became the first blind person to cross the Grand Canyon from the North Rim to the South Rim solo without a guide. All because
Get
someone
out.
famous made a statement blind people would never be able to do it. And I was able to do it, and I did it in like 10 hours and 58 minutes, which is amazing. So this year I'm doing trail running, and I'm going to try to be the first blind person to complete the Wonderland Trail at the end of August.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, kudos.
That's this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
kudos to you. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And so tell us, your film, has it been shown yet?
No, it's actually tonight at 4:00 today is going to be the screening, the Arizona premiere here, and also I think it's sold out online, but I think there's rush tickets, so I think people who are watching, if they want to come, just try to get in. And then Saturdays there's another sold out show, but I hear there's rush tickets, so
Okay, awesome.
not to be discouraged.
And it's
from
at
that.
Harkins both times?
No, this one tonight is Mary Fisher.
Mary
yes,
Fisher
and
Theater.
then the other one I believe is Mary Fisher too. Both. I
Okay.
think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Be sure to get tickets. This is an amazing, amazing film. I know all of you are going to be inspired for it. So I know we're going to have to like just keep this going.
Totally. No, it's great. We're happy to be here, so thank you.
And then if they just happen not to catch the film, how can they find out about the film?
Well, actually, you guys are doing, I think, March 19th in Flagstaff at the Theatricos Theater. There's going to be a screening of Blind AF.
Yep,
Okay.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. March 19th in Flagstaff.
Yes.
And I think Patrick said it'll be on the website soon. So
Okay, great.
It will be
Great.
in the area.
All right, so just in case, but still try,
Yes.
just in case we have a second time that you can get to see
Just
that.
in case.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then after that, we'll figure out distribution. Hopefully.
Yes.
Widespread.
Well, thank you so much. I know I'll be seeing you around, and I can't wait to hear. Audiences here are amazing, so I know you're going to get a lot of questions, so be prepared.
Yeah, I am. Great. Thank you.
All right, and don't forget to follow us on social media, Sedona Film Festival, and also on our Facebook page, where throughout the day we constantly have our filmmaker interviews and celebrities, and we also have red carpet interviews. So this has been an exciting film festival, so stay tuned. We'll have more filmmaker interviews in just a bit.